is returning with Shawdowdark. Last time we sort of finished looking through character creation and sort of a beginning look at magic. I'm going to read through the list since we'll be looking through them anyways. So we'll probably just read one or two from each page. Acid Arrow, Tier 2 Wizard. Oh, that's interesting. I would have expected them to have different sections for the wizard and priest. Yeah, because I kind of expected it to be, the priest list, and then the priest spells, and then the wizard list, and then the wizard spells. But Acid Arrow, Tier 2 Wizard, Focus, Far Range. You can, that's another thing, they haven't really talked about range that much, but from the little bit we have heard, looks like it uses a similar system to Mothership, with like the circles of range. Conjure a corrosive bolt that hits one foe, dealing d6 damage around. The bolt remains in the target for as long as you focus. Animate Dead, Tier 3 Wizard. Once a day. Close. No, the duration is 1 day, and range is close. You touch one humanoid's remains, and it rises as a zombie or skeleton under your control. The remains must have had at least 3 limbs and its head intact. The undead creature acts on your turn. After 1 day, the creature collapses into grave dust.
I can put that up for you and let you guys know. That's easier. I can do that on my time. I got you. Let me.
Bless. Tier 2 Priest. Instant and close. One creature you touch gains a luck token. Arcane Eye. Tier 4 Wizard. Conjure an invisible, grape-sized eye within range. Can see through the eye. It can see in the dark, out to near range. Fly near on your turn and squeeze through openings as narrow as a keyhole. I'll go ahead and read that, since it is like a top tier one. Anti-magic shell. It's a focused duration and range of self. An invisible near-sized cube of null magic appears centered on you. Within the cube, no spells can be cast. Magic items and spells have no effect in the zone, and no magic can enter. The cube moves with you. Spells such as Dispel Magic have no effect on it. Another anti-magic shell does not affect this one. Cleansing weapon. Tier 2 priest. Duration 5 rounds. Range close. One weapon you touch is wreathed in purifying flames. It deals an additional d4 damage, or d6 versus undead, for the duration. Cloud Kill. Tier 4 wizard. Duration 5 rounds. Range 4. Putrid cloud of yellow poison fills a near-sized cube within range. It spreads around corners. Creatures inside the cloud are blinded and take 2d6 at the beginning of their turns. A creature of level 9 or less that ends its turn fully inside the cloud dies. Commune. Tier 4 priest. Duration instant, range self. You seek your god's counsel. Ask the GM up to 3 yes or no questions. You must truthfully answer yes or no to each. If you cast the spell more than once in 24 hours, treat a failed spellcasting check for it as a critical failure instead. Which, yeah, so you don't want to be doing that more than once a day, since you'd have to earn penance then, I think. So, a bit of a more powerful create undead spell than we saw earlier. Tier 5 wizard, duration 1 day, range close. You conjure a vengeful undead creature to do your bidding. When you cast a spell, you choose to summon either a wight or wraith. It appears next to you, under your control. The undead creature acts on your turn. After 1 day, it melts away into smoke. Another quote from Krieg here. Magic is simply the art of doing and undoing. Disintegrate. A green ray shoots from your finger and turns a creature or object into ash. Target creature of level 5 or less instantly dies. Level 6 plus, it takes 3d8 damage instead. Non-magical object up to the size of a large tree is destroyed. So it looks like a pretty similar spell to Commune, except it's just one answer instead of 3. Which is interesting since they're both the same spell or level. So I'm wondering, yeah, that's really weird to me. Oh no, okay, I thought it was, so that's the wizard version. I guess with like that name. Divine Vengeance, Tier 5 Priest, duration 10 rounds. You become the divine avatar of your god's wrath, breathing holy flames or a black aura of smoldering corruption. For the spell's duration, you can fly a near distance. Your weapons are magical and you have a +4 bonus to your weapon attacks and damage. a Fabricate. Tier 3 Wizard, duration 10 rounds. Spell can't target creatures. You turn a tree-sized collection of raw materials into a finished work. For example, you convert a pile of bricks or rocks into a bridge. The finished work converts back to raw material when the spell ends. Dominion, Tier 5, Priest. Mighty beings come to your aid. The beings must have a combined total of 16 levels or less. Chaotic PCs summon demons or devils, and lawful neutral PCs summon angels. The beings act of free will to aid you on your turn. After 10 rounds, they return to their realms. You cannot cast the spell again until you complete a penance. Their version of Fireball seems pretty standard. A Flame Strike, Priest, Tier 4. Call down a holy pillar of fire, immolating one creature you can see within range. The target takes 2d6 damage. Heal, Tier 5, Priest. One creature you touch is healed to full hit points. You cannot cast the spell again until you complete your rest. Old Monster, Tier 5, Wizard. Paralyze one creature you can see within range. If the target is level 9+, it may make a strength check versus your last spellcasting check at the start of its turn to end the spell. Judgment, Tier 5, Priest. Duration 5 rounds. Instantly banish a creature you touch, sending it and all possessions it carries to face the judgment of your god. You can banish an intelligent creature of level 10 or less. When the creature returns in 5 rounds, it has been healed to full hit points if its deeds please your god. It has been reduced to 1 hit point if its deeds anger your god. If your god can't judge its actions, it's unchanged. It's a pretty interesting one. A lightning bolt, Tier 3. You shoot a blue-white ray of lightning from your hands, hitting all creatures in a straight line, out to a far distance. Creatures struck by the lightning take 3d6 damage. Another classic, Mage Armor. Tier 1. An invisible layer of magical force protects your vitals. Your armor class becomes 14 or 18 on a critical spellcasting check for the spell's duration. It's interesting that it is still in terms of rounds there, but I guess with their system, especially at higher levels, that's something you could probably reliably be able to keep on you. So that's interesting. It's a pretty standard magic missile, except instead of always hitting, you just have advantage. A magic circle, Tier 3 Wizard. You conjure a circle of runes out to near-sized cubes centered on yourself, and name a type of creature. For the spell's duration, creatures of the chosen type cannot attack or cast a hostile spell on anyone inside the circle. The Chosen creatures also can't possess, compel, or beguile anyone inside the circle. Pillar of Salt. Tier 4 Priest. A creature you target turns into a statue made of hardened salt. You can target a creature you can see of level 5 or less. If you successfully focus on this spell for 3 rounds in a row, the transformation becomes permanent. Plane Shift. Tier 5 Priest or Wizard. You fold space and time, transporting yourself and all willing creatures within close range to a location on another place of your choice. Unless you have been to your intended location before, you appear in a random place on the destination plane. Polymorph. Tier 4 Wizard. Transform a creature you touch into another natural creature you choose. Any gear the target carries melds into its new form. The target gains the creature's physical stats and features, but it retains its non-physical stats and features. If the target goes to 0 hit points, it reverts into its true form at half of its prior hit points. You can target any willing creature with this spell, or an unwilling creature whose level is less than equal to half your own. Rounded down. Power Word Kill. Tier 5 Wizard. Utter the Word of Doom. One creature you target at level 9 or less dies if it hears you. Treat a failed spellcasting check for this spell as a critical failure and roll the mishap with disadvantage. It's kind of interesting why you'd have disadvantage, because as we saw yesterday with the mishap table, I don't think the lower necessarily were worse or more catastrophic effects. I suppose it could just be rolled twice and, have your GM choose what they think is the worst result for you. Prismatic Orb, Tier 5 Wizard. You send a strobing orb of energy streaking toward a target within range. Choose an energy type from fire, cold, or electricity. The orb deals 3d8 damage and delivers a concussive blast of the chosen energy type. If the energy type is anathema to the target's existence, the orb deals double damage to it instead. Prophecy, Tier 5 Priest. Commune directly with your god for guidance. Ask the GM one question. The GM answers the question truthfully using the knowledge your god possesses. Deities are mighty but not omniscient. Cannot cast this spell again until you complete penance. Oh, I guess it is better from the previous one in the fact that it doesn't have to be yes or no. Resilient Sphere, Tier 4 Wizard, duration 5 rounds. Conjure a weightless glassy sphere around you that extends to close range. For the spell's duration, nothing can pass through or crush the sphere. You can roll the sphere a near distance on your turn. Shape Change, Tier 5 Wizard, Transform yourself and any gear you carry into another natural creature you've seen of level 10 or less. You assume the creature's physical stats and features, but retain your non-physical stats and features. If you go to 0 HP while under the effects of this as well, you revert to your true form at 1 HP. Scrying, Tier 5, Wizard. You look into a crystal ball or reflecting pool, calling up images of a distant place. For this spell's duration, you can see and hear a creature or location you choose that is on the same plane. This spell is DC 18 to cast if you try to scry on a creature or location that's unfamiliar to you. So I guess that's 3 higher than it would normally be. Each round, creatures you view make a wisdom check versus your last spellcasting check. On a success, they become aware of your magical observation. Summon Extraplanar. You reach into the outer plane, summoning forth a creature. You summon an elemental or outsider of level 7 or less. The creature is under your control and acts on your turn. If you lose focus on the spell, you lose control, and it becomes... I'd say I'd probably have them roll to have it determine its reaction. Or depending on, the creature in this situation. You must pass a spellcasting check on your turn to return the creature to the outer planes. Teleport. You and any willing creatures you choose within close range teleport to a location you specify in your same plane. Can travel to a known teleportation sigil or to a location you've been before. Otherwise, you have a 50% chance of arriving off target. Wrath. Tier 4 Priest. Duration 10 rounds. Your weapons become magical, +2, and deal an additional d8 damage for the spell's duration. Wish. This mighty spell alters reality. Make a single wish, stating it as exactly as possible. Your wish occurs as interpreted by the GM. Treat a failed spellcasting check for this spell as a critical failure, and roll the mishap with disadvantage. So interesting. I guess I would have thought it would have been a priest spell. So I guess I always think you're kind of, making the wish and throwing it out to the universe. So we did get started later today. I think we've got enough time to really dig into the next section. So hopefully next time we'll get into the meat of the gameplay. I did have, I was going through some stuff and I found this, so I thought we'd take a look. Not sure if I'll actually be using this next or not. I I also didn't really have any questions for today, so might not even use it today, but I thought we'd go ahead and take well, I guess I will have to find my new stands, finally giving it up. If you found this deck, congratulations. It is now yours, and has traveled far and wide to find you. And I shall share its nature to you as it was shared to me. Ooh. What you hold in your hands is a moon oracle, a tale passed down for generations. Its original form is now long forgotten. Its cards tell a story. That story may or may not be true, or useful, or insightful. The story may be written by chance by the gods, or if your fingers are fast enough, by you. Each deck of the Moon Oracle cards are different, as each deck evolves with the owner. When a card is weathered or simply no longer speaks to you, replace it with a new card of your own design. Something personal and true. Trust yourself. What's true for you will ring true for others. Some choose to change a card with each lunar cycle. Some decks magically destroy a card when it is replaced with a new one. Such decadence. Decks usually consist of 20 cards, but I've also heard of decks growing as large as 32 cards. I should also warn you, tales have been told of a malicious, manipulative, and deceitful deck known as a Red Moon Oracle. It is said to delight in chaos and disaster. Avoid it at all costs. Each card holds two balanced thoughts. They can be opposing thoughts, complementary, or different states of the same thought. Meaning may sometimes overlap between cards, but that's hardly the point. A deck with a point of view is far more useful than a false sense of worldliness. If you find a card is too close in meaning to another, simply cast off for a new idea. Simplest reading is the 3-card tale. Yep. Simple card pull is also wonderful. You can leave the reading to chance or the gods by preferring or control. It's also cool if you act like one of the cards is super important and makes them freak out. Obviously, the images on the cards are the easiest way to interpret, so what follows is a list of more obscure meanings to use in your readings along with fancy card titles. May the cards serve you until they are found or bequeathed to your next companion. Yours unreliably, MT and Jester. The traveler is with you, my child. Without further ado, we start with the first and oldest card. If there's a deck without one, no one who's ever held these cards has seen it. So I instantly like compared to I like that there's two different words, for each card. So I just really like how those stars pop out in front of the caravan there. Oh, that's quite a lot of blink ones for you to sort of. So I really like the feel of this. I like that it's, being its own thing. I feel like that's a little heavy on the adding your own cards, but fine. I'm looking forward to using this, and maybe we'll when I do, we'll probably go through the supposed deeper meanings then. But that's all I really have for today. We'll probably continue with Shawdowdark tomorrow.